We're going to begin our workshop scene here in just a moment.
Vicus, Lucet, Vicus, Vicusec.
All right. Well, that's very fascinating, Delport. If they're freely distributed articles, I'd love it if you're able to pass them on. Being able to read, things like that is it always fascinates me. Back to the bourbon. Well, all I have is agua rojo. Each of these lines are options, ruler. Our worksheet needs us to fill in these lines, and we will interpret the results just like we did for building our characters. All right, get some background music up here. We're going to listen to Jungle Ruins in the background as we're making our setting. You know what? The RPG workshop would probably be a good place for it, Delport. Okay, so ruler, that's the one that you want to. That's the one that you want to roll for. No problem. All right, now starting this. It's not going to take a lot of time to do, and especially because we've already done so much work. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you take a look, it's in a book, Reading Rainbow. We already have the character sheets and our party comparison sheets. We're absolutely suffused with notes and inspiration. And this is going to be a way to help focus it even better. So let's make the adventuring environment, the settlement, or at least the region where the story is going to take place, that involves the four characters that our friends are playing. Of course, we role played as the friends. We're role playing as the DM. Oh, sorry about that, everyone. Oh, I thought I walked around and kind of, got the blood flowing there. Now, if you have your player's handbook open, we are going to start in the player's handbook. So if you're playing along at home, open up your Pahubba Hubba Hubba Hey, and we're going to go to page 68. Now, if you don't have a player's handbook, I'd highly suggest picking one up. I happen to know a guy who can hook you up. All right. Hey, be well, Sierra. Thank you very much for sticking around as long as you have. Now, why do I start in the player's handbook? There are 8 mechanical terrains in D&D, and they're terrains that druids and rangers get some sort of bond or tie to, or otherwise can just traverse or live more better. And if we stick to those 8, then at least in concept, we have an area that is, we can build up cultural aspects. We can include other characters that are adjusted for that environment, etc., etc. Okay, what is the second role that you want, ruler? Town name, I guess I could leave it open. That was something that I didn't necessarily intend on getting to, but if you wanna throw your hat into the arena, decoder, I'm perfectly fine with that. All right, now let's begin. All right, ruler, no problem. Delport Breckland, would you please get us going by typing exclamation point 1D8? Exclamation point 1d8. No, I'm talking to Delport Breckland. Lands on a 1. All right. Our first terrain type is Arctic. Now, I like having at least 2 terrain types in any particular area. If you want more, or you say, nope, it is nothing but grassland, that's fine. For purposes of our workshop, I choose 2, because seeing that intersection of these regions can help us with ideas or determinations to go in a direction based on something else. Okay, Decoder, you want to do the government type. All right, then we're almost there for you, Decoder. Rip Artist, may I please have a 1d8 roll in chat? And for anyone else, if you want to roll something in particular, you may spend your inspiration points, your channel points, to lock it in. Otherwise, if you're chatting, if I see that you're available to roll, I will randomly call on people too. Rip Artist lands on a 2, Coast. Okay. This is an Arctic and coastal region. Now, it could mean shore if you want it to be by a lake, such as a Great Lake. I have plenty of experience with that. It could be coast. This could even be along the banks of a river. But we know that there is a major water feature that is going to be a part of this setting, and then some Arctic area. All right, now we go over to our form of government. Now, Decoder wanted to roll this one. We're going to open up our Dungeon Master's guides. So please open your Demagogues. There we are. Please open your Demagogues to forms of government on page 18. Maybe fjords. Yes, Jenny. That could be as well. And I would like a percentile roll in chat, Ruler. Or not Ruler, Decoder. Decoder. Ruler is rolling for 2 other things. Decoder. Exclamation... Or, yeah, it was Decoder, right? Exclamation point 1d100. Lands on a 1, we have an autocracy. 1 hereditary ruler wields absolute power. The autocrat either is supported by a well-developed bureaucracy or military, or stands as the only authority in an otherwise anarchic society. The dynastic ruler could be immortal or undead. Aundair and Karnath, 2 kingdoms in the Eberron campaign setting, have autocrats with royal blood in their veins, whereas Queen Aurala of Aundair relies on wizards and spies to enforce her will. Caius, the vampire king of Karnath, has a formidable army of the living and dead soldiers under his command. Delport says, I agree. Multiple types of terrain make things more interesting. When it says Arctic, are we talking ice sheets and glaciers, or cold northern Earth, like northern Siberia or Canada? I'm thinking that a combination of mammoth steppe, permafrost, bogs, and taiga would be fun. Maybe on the bank of a large bay, which is bound by ice, so the open ocean side is frozen at least part of the year. And hello, Dingo Panic. So that could work, and now we know that this place is ruled over by an autocracy. We have we have one hereditary ruler. Now, if this is like, oh, this is Viking, clearly. You know, you have a jarl. Otherwise, everyone is kind of rowdy, and the different families all pledge their banners to House Stark. I mean, to Vikings. I know the Vikings would be more the Greyjoys, but we have the Men of the North all the same. Yeah, it could be a city built on the top of a glacier, staring over the ocean. That's true too, ruler. So yeah, we can lean into this, but we know that the people are ruled over by an autocracy, and if we want it to be more of a magically enforced one, where the ruler is undead or a construct, or perhaps even a sentient magic device. I had such a city ruled over by an intelligent magic item in my original campaign setting. Not Zuviwow for the broadcast game here, but the world of Veloz. It would be hilarious if I could get Drow to live in one of the areas with the most sunlight. Well, I mean, at some point, if this is closer to being at a pole, there would be very long nights and perhaps even some very long days too. Or maybe the Arctic area is for some reason it's a magical area in an equatorial region. Similar to how wow, shame on me, I should know this. What was Mr. Sinister's it's in Antarctica, but it's like a warm jungle city. Mr. Sinister had some base in Antarctica, but it was actually like a tropical carved out zone in Antarctica. We could actually have an opposite, where for some reason there is a magical or other supernatural effect that makes that region just unnaturally cold when it's otherwise surrounded by warmth. Now, monuments. I like having any area has 3 distinct things to it. And the way that I point this out is for any of your all's hometown. Now, you might live in a little village of 200 people in a rural area. You might be one of 11 billion people in a faceless, uncaring city. Regardless, there are 3 distinct things about your place of living. Okay, it could be your house. You say, you know what, my house is defined by these 3 things. My town or my city is defined by these 3 things. My county, or if you have a some other variant of that wherever you live, my county has 3 distinct landmarks or things about it. Parks, statues, playgrounds, historical event markers, big industry, a university, who knows. Your state, province, etc. has 3 things that make it distinct, and your country has 3 landmarks or monuments that make it distinct. You can find 3 things that define where you live anywhere you go. Delport says, what if most of the population lives on or near the coast of the bay because inland is too harsh to grow food, but the ruling class lives on an island in the bay, like Isle Royale, and the magic which reinforces the hierarchy is weather magic, which prevents blizzards and other extreme weather which would endanger food supply. Please forgive me if I throw out a ton of ideas. I just like throwing out ideas. I'd love to see people comment, alter, or provide alternatives. In Delport, you are always welcome. All of you are welcome to conjecture, hypothesize, and throw out ideas. Absolutely. That's what these exercises are all about. That's what these workshops are meant to foster, is thinking, discussion, and sharing ideas. Heretic says it's a one-horse town and they ate the horse last year when the crops failed. The ruling class could just be one or two druids who have the only access to food. What if it was the opposite? It was one druid purposely causing extreme weather to destroy the food supply so he could be their monopoly. Rosewolf says, I have a city with a harbor which is well known for its wisteria flowers that grows all over the town. It's an Asian-inspired town. So there you go. So Rosewolf, if you're thinking of the the area around which you live, your city or county or whichever level that you're taking it, you have thought of 3 distinct things for your city. If I were to use the example of the city of Sandusky here in Ohio, Cedar Point could be a monument, if you count the amusement park as a monument. I would count the Boy in the Boot statue downtown, as that is like the city landmark. And there's a lot of solid third options. And in part, that could depend if I'm counting Perkins Township as a part of the city of Sandusky, because they both have the same area code, even though one is a township and the other is the city proper. If I wanted to stick to just Sandusky, I could say Oakland Cemetery. Actually, that's a bit of a halfway point. It's in Perkins Township, but it's considered city property. I could say that Oakland Cemetery is the third landmark of Sandusky. Yeah, we're going to be rolling monuments here in just a moment. I wanted to go over a couple examples. Hey, Killer Ravens, I had an island where magic crystals formed that allowed the animals to speak and understand common, and were being mined by pirates and rogue wizards. Bagger says, I dropped a quick sketch of my character in the Discord. Well, I will take a look at it when I finish this exercise, Bagger. Now we're gonna skip ahead. Open your Dungeon Master's guides, and again, if you need one, support your friendly local game store. And if you don't have one of those, I know a guy, he's me, who can work with you to hook you up. All right, let's roll monuments. Bagger, may I please have a 1d20 roll in chat? Lands on a 5, an intact obelisk etched with a warning, historical lore, dedication, or religious iconography. All right, Bagger, I need a 1d4 roll in chat next, please. Exclamation point 1d4. Intact obelisk etched with a... lands on a 3. Warning, historical lore, dedication. All right. What is our second monument? Rosewolf. Rosewolf, will you please roll a d20 in chat? Exclamation point 1d20. In fact, if we have an icy... I'm going to go to Icebound Town, as this actually has some water sound effects in it as well. Lands on a 4. Giant statues carved out of a mountainside or cliff. Rosewolf, roll an even-sided die of your choice. Odds, it's the first. Evens, it's the second. All right. out of a cliff. Now, we are dealing with a fantasy setting. And so, just as much as we can have mundane statues or walls or obelisks, there's something weird also going on. Maybe something a little bit more on the supernatural side. For this next roll, Killer Ravens. Killer Ravens, may I please have a 1d20 roll in chat to give us our weird locale. Lands on a 12. A giant crystal shard protruding from the ground. All right, what does this mean, and how does it play into the obelisk? If at all, it doesn't have to. How does it play into the obelisk, the statues, the autocracy, and or our Arctic coastal / watery area? Is the giant crystal shard what's producing the unnatural cold? Or is it producing an area around it that is sustainable in an otherwise very frigid environment? Yeah, it might actually act as it stores up heat in the winter, cooling the area, and it expels it in the winter, warming it. We could have a talking statue, or maybe it comes alive to protect the town, offers Rosewolf. Ruler says, and an incident happened where part of the obelisk breaks, revealing the shard. Dun dun dun. Well, now there is an option for a broken obelisk. Now, it doesn't mean that over the course of the adventure, the intact one can't be found to have one in it as well. But right now, we have an intact obelisk. We have giant statues, and separately we have a giant crystal. Maybe the crystal emits light as they are very long nights. Ah, okay, so the crystal might be warmth in the wintertime and light in the dark. The autocrat is probably the one, if not a druid like discussed above. The autocrat could be a druid, a wizard, a college or council, or just an individual, the family who discovered the crystal, and is the only one who can keep it fine-tuned. For a very long time, Big Ben was tended to by someone who really was the only person who knew the gears, and would try and get the pendulum in the correct balance and swing by taking and removing coins off of the weights in order to help it keep the time before it got a big old renovation. So there could be a caretaker that is the autocrat, or the crystal itself is somehow the autocrat. What if the crystal is for some reason a gateway to a different location on the same world or elsewhere, and the people on the other side are trying to get the people here building a portal or something, or I don't know. It could be like the Fortress of Solitude that Superman has, and the crystal might be able to show memories of the people who used to live here. So there's that as well. Has the autocrat carved his tower out of the crystal shard? Perhaps, Delport. Maybe the crystal is used as a divining tool by a class of oracles who bring questions regarding policy to it and interpret the flickering shadow. A sign of Ragnarok, offers Ruler. And dear Twitch, stop buffering like your real videos. That says Heretic Trance. If you all don't get it, then you're not old like we are. Heretic Trance and I think we're going on 23 years old now. And you know, we were there when the loading when the segmented circle was loading. All right. Now we're going to skip ahead, and we need to know more about the people who are going to be living here. Now, to do this, we're going to have two different races, and if you want more or less for your fantasy setting, A-OK. This is your world. For purposes of our exercise, we're going to randomly roll them. Of course, we do have our player characters. We know that there are characters, one is a rock gnome, two are tieflings, and one is a gold dragonborn. So we can always draw on those if we wanted to just insert those characters. But let's keep it open to the player's handbook. And we will bring up our manual of player character golems here. And we'll use the same list that we did when making our characters. Now, Ruler wanted to roll this first one. Well, dictatorship is very specifically its own thing. Not that it can't border or overlap slightly, but in particular, we don't necessarily have a magocracy nor a dictatorship, as those are separate entities that can be specifically rolled for out of the book. We do have an autocracy. Now, it might delve into aspects of those, but I want to make sure that when we're talking about it, we're keeping it focused on the autocracy, and we can put the trappings of it, around there too. So, Ruler, would you kindly roll 1d9 in chat, please? Exclamation point 1d9. Seven halflings. Okay. So we have halflings, and now if we wanted to roll in particular, you know, well, it's just you know, it's just one type of halfling or the other. We could, but right now we know halflings, and for our other, who is lurking? Heretic Trance. Heretic Trance, can I get a 1d9 roll in chat, please? Five. Half elves. Half elves. Let's go back to our document here. We have halflings, and we have half elves. And I wonder if the halflings are somehow related to the tieflings. I don't know. Now, does this necessarily mean that we have humans and elves, but for some reason we have a distinct half-elf population without having distinct human or elf populations? In this case, half-elves might very well be their own people. Actually, in Eberron, half-elves are their own. It's not always a union between an elf and a human or someone else. If we go to Tolkien lore, half-elves would be like the Númenóreans, the Númenóreans were humans who had long lives. They did have some elf-like qualities to them. So in this instance, we might have whatever this concept of half-elf is, which could either be a halfling that's long-lived, or a dragonborn or a tiefling that is long-lived in some way, more than a regular, but less than maybe what this concept of a full elf could be. But we have the inspiration now for the dominant and the minority races of our area. And how do they get along? This was another inspiration point, or inspiration spent for the relations of the people in the setting. Go back to our DMG. Now I need a 1d20 roll from you, Ruler. How do our people get along with each other? Lands on a 21. This is either a reroll or it's your choice from the results. You can choose, or you can reroll a d20. And your options, if you don't have a DMG, are harmony, tension, or rivalry. The racial majority are conquerors. The racial minority are rulers. Racial minority are refugees. Racial majority oppresses the minority, or the racial minority oppresses the majority. Hi, Urians. All right, so they're conquerors. The racial majority are conquerors. All right. Well, if there's some good farmland here, then maybe they came here to settle and to grow crops, or they were stranded, or things just, it is how it is since the days of Eld. There's a lot of different reasons why this could be the case and what the circumstances are. Now, the ruler status. This is the status of the autocrat or the autocrat's family, which rules over this very distinct area. Urians, can I please have you type exclamation point 1d20 in chat? Stops on an 8. A feared tyrant. Delport asks, is the minority race an indication that this group is less common than the dominant, but more than any other, or does it imply this group is less common? We can take the implication however we wish. It could be minority in terms of pure population numbers, or it could be in demographic makeup, you know, some sort of physiological or biological aspect. The prompt is simply that we have one people are more than the other people, and whether that's in wealth, political power, just physical presence, or education, or whatever else, that's up for us. So it could be what it is. All right, now what is a notable trait about our adventuring environment? We have a cold, cruel place. Who out there hasn't rolled yet and would like to? Please do speak up, everyone. I have 31 of you lurking. Jenny, if you're still around, I can call on you. Sierra Echo went into lurk mode. Naziro, I don't know if you're here. Woden, if you're here, or any of the other raiders, Overlord Chameleon, Vazel, or if anyone else is out there and would like to roll, let me know. Jenny, you are here. And Iron Chef Lord is here too. All right, Jenny, give us the notable trait of this area. That is a 1d20 roll. Then Iron Chef, I'll call on you next, and Dragon, I will call on you after that. Lands on a 10. It is destitute and run down. maybe at some point in time, this used to be a at one point in time, maybe this actually used to be a hub of commerce or trade or something, but ever since the thing or the person, things haven't been very well, and people have been scrapping over resources. This is kind of a... This is giving me Rapture from BioShock feels. Oh, maybe it was a mining town. Maybe there's more of those crystals out there. Like, not just the big main one. There could be smaller ones. That's true too, Decoder. Maybe the conquest just happened and the crops haven't recovered from the war. Ooh, that could be the case too, Delport. All right, Iron Chef Lord. This place is known for what? I would like you to roll 1d20 in chat and let me know. Because only you have the answer, Iron Chef. What is this place known for? Lands on lucky 13. It is known for its godlessness. Oh my goodness, what a what a bleak setting. And we have a cleric of light. We have a cleric of light here. That, yeah, it writes itself. We have an emote for that, everyone. We have a cleric of light that is arriving here in Rapture, which you get the halfling autocrat tyrant. A man chooses. A slave obeys. A little putt. Now, if that weren't enough, this there's actually a calamity going on. We've established what this place is, at least now, normally like. There is a current calamity that is tearing this place apart. Dragon, what is happening to this wretched hive of scum and villainy? I need a 1d20 roll, please. These halflings could have lost their luck from not believing in God. Ooh. Lands on a 5. A plague or famine that sparks riots. Hang on, everyone. We got emotes for this. I would like to know which one. So, Dragon, please choose an even-sided die of your choice and roll it. Odds, it's the first. Evens, it's the second. Odds, it's the first. So this is our current calamity is a plague. And the plague is sparking riots. Now, of course, these all go on to beg other questions about the nature of the god or gods that did exist in this area. The circumstances that brought the conquerors, the nature of the monuments, what's going on with the plague? Is this just, you know, a Spanish flu? Is this you know, the plague is more of a biblical one where it's a plague of frogs or gnats or something? Is it a bubonic plague, which is vermin and disease? Is it some sort of a venereal disease that's broken out among a people that have primarily, because they've been so locked into their area, you know, you're not getting, you know, you're not getting a lot of options. No, ruler, this place absolutely is prime for adventuring. All right, town name, I'm not going to worry about that just yet. But we do know that there is, or maybe was, a major religious building. Now, when we're at this part of the DMG, this can be, if you just like wanted to fill up a map, you could randomly roll things, because even if you're in a small rural town, there might very well be 3 churches in a town of 200 people. Because, you know, it is country life. Or, you know, there could just be the one, or it's a hamlet, and a hamlet is a village with no church. Now, what I want to roll for regarding religious building is this is the building that for some reason is going to be having an influence in the course of the adventure. It could be the mega church. It could be, honestly, just a small one, like in Final Fantasy VII. It's a rundown church in the slums no one goes to, but it has a role in the story in a significant way. So that is what this is going to be measuring. What is a significant religious building that will involve our adventurers and the story we wish to tell? And there may very well be other ones, even to the same god or goddess or pantheon. Vlad, or Vlad, would you please type exclamation point 1D20 in chat? Exclamation point number 1, letter D is in doggo, number 20, no space. Lands on a 4, a temple to a good or neutral deity. All right, Vlad, I need to know which is which. Roll your favorite even-sided die in chat. A 4, 6, 8, 10. Ooh, even a D12. Odds, it's the first one. Evens, it's the second one. Odds, it's the first. There is a temple to a good deity, but the people here are godless. Now, that doesn't mean that the temple is even attended or known to be a temple of a good god. We know as the storyteller. Temple to a good deity. There was a good deity. All right, now, same thing with the tavern. There could very well be 100 taverns. You know, inns, public houses, bars, saloons, restaurants, drinking clubs, blah, 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 blah. What is the name of the tavern that is going to play a major role in some way to our characters and or story? Is there someone out there who hasn't rolled yet and would like to? I don't mind calling on someone to roll for a second time, but is there someone out there who hasn't rolled yet? Rip Artist says, one section of the town I grew up in a borough, actually had 2 churches and 9 bars. Delport says maybe it was a temple, but now it's used as the town hall and court of the people. The building is still a temple. It may even be called a temple, but it's used as a civic center now. Ah, okay. Well, yeah, not hearing anyone else. Rip Artist, can I get a 2D20 roll in chat? Exclamation point 2D20. 5 and 11. The Prancing Goat. Now, why is this important to our story? A place like this has a name for a reason. Why is there a place called the Prancing Goat? Do goats live in the area? And this is simply, this is simply like a bar located in a pine forest called the Lonely Pine? Are there goats and rams and such that live here? Is the Prancing Goat a symbol of the city, like a mascot? Did a goat come over with one of the early settlers or the conquerors? And it was so fierce that it participated in the establishment of the reestablishment of this place. Is the goat seen as an important thing? You know, you can wear its fur when it's cold. You can eat its meat. You can drink its milk. You can boil its horns and hooves for glue. So that could be part of it too. The halflings could be riding goats as their cavalry, says Ruler. Delport says taverns get their names from the signs that identify them. Sounds like someone painted a goat on the sign. And maybe it was hanging from 2 chains, and when one chain broke, the sign hung on an angle, so it's said to be dancing. The barkeeper just loved goats. Yeah. In fact, this tavern, it could actually be the greatest of all time. This tavern is actually the Goat. I feel the owner should be someone modeled after Patrick Warburton. A goat cart says, so we have goat cart racing going on. I like the idea that the barkeeper is the only nice guy in town, says Ruler. Love this cavalry of goated halflings, says Rep Artist. Hi, Belladonna. Can I do a Patrick Warburton voice? You know, hey there. No, it's a little deeper, but it's not like deep like this. It has he has a distinct quality, but I can very much imagine a Warburton-esque bartender welcoming the adventurers in from the cold. Well, I hope it was a good, busy, productive day for you, Belladonna. Say nice like Patrick. It kind of like trails off at the end. Nice. No, not that. Nice. No, that's too hard of an I. Nice. Yeah, like his voice is more in the back of the throat. Nice. Nice. Welcome, adventurers. Good to have you in out of the cold. It's closer. All right, Ruler, we'll take care. Thank you for being a part of it. The area could be too harsh to raise cattle, so the town keeps goats for meat, milk, and transportation. Yeah, maybe they eat a hardier tundra grass or something that cattle really don't like or can't eat. Now, what is the style of this tavern? Belladonna, can I get a 1d20 roll from you? I want to know which type of place the Prancing Goat is. Lands on a 15. It is a gambling den. Someone was talking about gambling. Wait, was that you, Ruler? Or Dakota? Who was it that said that there was gambling going on in this halfling town? I wonder if there's some sort of a custom dice, or oh, you know what? What if there is a custom a gambling dice game that plays like? Are you all familiar with Pass the Pigs? What if they actually have little goat dice that they use to play a game like what we play Pass the Pigs? Yeah, they might bet on goat racing as well. Yep. So we had a fulfilled prophecy here, huh? Yeah, Pass the Pigs, but with goats. Pass the pig, toss the goat. We would be having a different conversation if it rolled a 19 or 20, and that's a brothel. Because, I mean, look, maybe there are some long winter nights in an Arctic area. So, you know what? I just had a take on the Tauntaun moment from from a certain Star Wars movie. Oh, instead of Pass the Pig, it's Get the Goats. Look, Noctis, you said what everyone's thinking, and I'm glad that you took the brunt of it for me. Oh, keeping it PG-13. All right. Oh, can I do that in the Patrick Warburton voice? All right. Yeah, it's a little bit more drawn out in the back of the throat. Actually, a good exercise for that would be from Family Guy. Peter. No, not Peter. He has that R. Peter. It's a longer wispier. Peter. Could have a neighboring brothel where people end up spending their winter. Yeah. So kind of like a in Japan, there are pachinko parlors, and gambling is illegal. So when you play pachinko, you clearly only cash in the little metal balls that you catch for prizes. So wouldn't you know that in the pachinko parlor, a stuffed animal costs 100 ball bearings or BBs or whatever the pachinko machines use, right? Now, it just so happens that some crazy guy opened a place next door where if you happen, you know, he's a big collector and loves little Griffin plushies. And so if you bring him a Griffin plushie, he'll be glad to give you $100 for a rare Griffin plushie. Hi, Scanian. The music is loud. I'll see what I can do about that. In fact, now that we have our Icebound Town music, let's go to Vikings for music. Do I have something in my eye? Only a brilliant idea, Bagger. And now, here we go. Given our character... Hey, Medusa, good to see you. Given our characters that were developed, and so remember, we can always go back and take a look at their character sheets if we want extra ways to bring things together, or in the exercise that we did where we were putting their roleplay prompts, right? We have setting inspiration. Hey, look, character 1 can perform fights in taverns or arenas. Interesting, interesting. So now we have a broad look at our setting. We can sprinkle in inspiration that is going to hook our characters into the setting further, either by making them from here or drawing and keeping them here if they're an outsider, which maybe some of them are. Or maybe this is actually, it's a bustling metropolis because of its unique situation. But it's been run down through war and or exploitation, and it's not in good shape. But boy, if that doesn't lead to a lot of adventure to happen. So what we're gonna do, everyone, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to map this with you. So open up MS Paint or another program if you want, but I'm trying to keep it simple. Open up MS Paint, and why don't you paint along with me? And I want to go over some simple ways to get your ideas out there to give you a readable map from which you can have a very easy time working. So Medusa, we meet to part, but I do need to refresh myself. My Agua Rojo is getting a little low. I want to keep the blood moving through my veins. And when we come back, we're going to bust out our digital tools. And I want to go over some map making with you all. Okay? Okay. So hang in there, everyone. And I'll be back in a couple minutes.